onefootflipper.
Sorry, Tom. I know you just met a new lady friend, but you have been chosen. You have been sold. You're coming out of the background. But I don't want to go. Well, it's too late. You're going. Hi, Paige here, the 1 Foot Flipper. Today's video, we're going to talk about how to lose money on eBay, or how to make less money than you want on eBay. Now, I specifically titled it about trading cards, and that's what I'm going to look into more in depth, but this can be about any part of your eBay business. It's easy to have part of your eBay business that may be actively losing money, or maybe only making money at a rate that isn't worth your time or your effort, and when it's all glommed in together, it's easy to miss that stuff. That's why it's important to look at the details, especially if things you sell repeatedly, and to how much time, effort, and cost and labor are actually going into those items. And it's also going to be my 3,000 subscriber celebration. Today is January 31st. I posted my first video on January 1st. And somehow, in that 30 days, I got 3,000 subscribers, and I am now monetized, so you're going to start seeing some ads. I'm sorry, it's all part of it. It's just how part of YouTube, has to pay us, and even from what I understand, it's still not worth the time, but I love you guys, and I love doing this, so I'm going to keep doing it anyway. Matter of fact, you can tell me what sort of ads you're getting down in the comments. I'd love to hear it. We'll do the giveaway a little bit later, but let's start looking into what I'm talking about today. And we're going to look at trading cards. I love trading cards. There's all kinds of them. There's sports cards. There's non-sports cards. Like, look at this. This has a piece of the jacket that Ben Stiller wore in Along Came Polly inside of it. I mean, what's that worth? I have no idea, because I never listed it and never tried to look it up. But it is interesting. Trading cards can also be great just for making friends. This is one of my favorite cards. I got this card from one of my best friends, Nathan. I met Nathan at a gaming store and played Magic the Gathering with him, always multiplayer, and for some reason Nathan always played this card on me. Magister Sphinx. It's not a very good card in a two-player game, but in a multiplayer game, it just sort of kind of makes the other person lose the game, but it doesn't win the game, so one person will be out. And Nathan kept playing this card on me. And I don't know why. I didn't know the guy. He was real quiet. He kept playing the card on me, and after a few weeks, I decided, you know what? I'm going to make this guy my new best friend. And I started being, talking to Nathan, getting to know him. And eventually, Nathan became, indeed, he is one of my best friends today, and eventually I got him to trade me his Magister Sphinx and sign it for me, and I keep it back here on my creepy wall, and I'm never going to let this card go. It's one of my most important cards to me, even though it's probably worth 50 cents. But speaking of 50-cent cards, let's look at the real money that goes into these low-end cards. And I'm going to do some pop-ups here. I'm not going to point to them, because I'm not sure how big they are when I'm going to put them on the screen. But first, let's look at your worst case scenario. There are people that sell cards for 99 cents shipped. And they lose 39 cents, and they ship it in a top loader. And they lose 39 cents on every card. That calculation is done using the standard eBay fee calculator. It's calculating 10-cent cost of goods for the card, because you can't get sellable cards for free. Even if you can, you're not going to sell all of them, so I still just calculated 10 cents per card on that. 5 cents for envelope and printing the label. It's actually probably a little higher. And 20 cents for that hard plastic case, because that's what they cost each in bulk. They're even higher if you got to buy them one at a time. And those people lose 39 cents per order. And if they're really good and they can manage to pack 30 of those orders per hour, they can lose $11.70 per hour just in shipping these cards. That's not counting listing time. That's just shipping time. And now I know what you say. Oh, but people buy multiples. They buy a whole bunch at once and make it worth it. No, they don't. I sell every variety of cards, sports, non-sports, gaming cards, and 90% of my orders are one card. I've had buy one, get one free sales, and still half of the customers will buy one card. It is extremely difficult to get your customers to buy more than one item at once, no matter what you do. Like somebody today bought this PlayStation Portable Medal of Honor game for me for $1.99, and they paid $5.50 for shipping. Says right in the listing, hey, this is going to combine free ship, no extra shipping costs for extra games. Put them in the cart. Do they pick another game? Nope. They just buy one. And that's the same thing with your trading card customers. And now I've also heard the argument, my friend American Arbitrage says it, that it helps you get a new customer. But I found that there's really two kinds of card customers. There's Timmy and there's Spike. Timmy is in it for fun. He's a dreamer. Timmy doesn't really price research the cards he buys at all. He likes cool stuff. And Timmy buys cheap cards. Timmy buys $1 card, $2 cards, $3 cards. Timmy doesn't buy $20 cards. Timmy doesn't buy $30 cards. Timmy usually doesn't even buy $10 cards. He buys $1 cards. And then there's Spike. Spike is super serious. Spike is going to price research every purchase he makes. He's going to make that purchase from the vendor who has the best deal on that card in that condition, and he's not going to pay a penny too much. And Spike, he's serious. Spike doesn't buy 99-cent cards. Spike doesn't buy $1.99 cards. If Spike does buy a $1.99 card, it's only because he thinks it's going to go up in value later. But in general, he's not touching that low dollar stuff. And those are two separate customers. And poring over my customer data has shown that to be the case time and time again. When I see that repeat customer, if it's a $1.99 card, which is my lowest price point, I look back, see what they bought in the past. It's more $1.99 cards. If I see that repeat customer who bought something more expensive, I look back in the past. What did they buy? They bought more expensive cards. It almost never mixes. Now, we'll go a little bit better and say that you're selling for 99 cents, but at least you're charging shipping. In that case, you make 13 cents per order on shipping those cards. And that if you're fast, you can ship $3.90 an hour worth of those orders. Not counting listing, not counting sourcing, just the shipping part. You can ship $3.90 an hour worth. Is it worth it? No. Now I'm going to look at somebody's store in particular. I'm going to look at American Arbitrage because he is a big fan of the 99-cent sports cards. He talks about it. He jokes about it. I've given him trouble about it in the past. Let's look at his store. By the way, you need American Arbitrage. You and Dawn need to up your eBay store game. I mean, you've still got your username is still Dawn's username from before she was famous, from before you're famous. The username doesn't match the store name. There's no graphic on the store. I want to see you and Dawn in front of Circus holding up 99-cent sports cards and a bunch of plush. Instead, there's no picture, unrelated names. Come on, you can do better. And I know you will do better. Okay, I looked at his card listings to see exactly what he does. And he claims that he gets all his top loaders for free, so I calculated that in. And that can be a possibility for sports card specialists because they can end up getting a top loader with every single card they buy when they pick through things, depending on the shop they go to. So he makes 53 cents per card on those. And he can make $15.90 an hour if he can ship 30 of those per hour. And that's not bad, but that's only the shipping part. That's not the listing. That's not the sourcing. That's just the shipping part. It's a little bit better than McDonald's pays, but without the free hamburger. Now we'll go to what I do on trading cards. I know I've probably lost everybody by now just talking about trading cards. So, but sorry, it's what it's going to be. I use a minimum price of $1.99. I don't use a top loader. I stuff the card into a gaming sleeve in between a couple of sports cards or junk cards. Any card seller is going to get endless junk cards. Those essentially cost nothing. Or you can price them out at $3 per thousand if you really want to. I think I priced them out at $3 per thousand in my calculations. And I also charge shipping. I can ship $41.70 an hour worth of cards. Once again, not counting listing time, not counting sourcing time, just counting shipping time. But you see the huge differences in the hourly on the shipping with relatively small differences in the price of what you're selling the item for. That's because the basic supplies and the eBay fees take such a huge cut out of things that there can be nothing left when you're at the bottom there. And it's why maybe you don't want to be at the bottom there anymore. Maybe it's not worth it to you. Now, another problem that a lot of card sellers and other sellers in general do is that they don't adapt to changes in the marketplace. Like, if you look right now, see, look, that person's got this card for $20.68. You can't ship a card using eBay standard envelope that costs more than $20. Why would he charge $20.68? Now he has to ship that card with a package or ship it with a stamp with no tracking. Now, the stamp with no tracking wasn't a huge deal back when everyone did that because the scammers were spread out. They spread them out amongst everybody who sold cards, and it wasn't that bad. And sports cards don't have it as bad as gaming cards do as far as that goes. The anime-based gaming cards are the worst for that. But either way, this guy is going to get 68 cents more for this card and then spend an extra $3 on shipping this card. And you also note he's also not price researching because look down below. 2 ads for better versions of the same card for $5 less. So why would I buy that card? But that is a separate issue. And then there's the sellers who don't even understand they're selling cards, but they haven't researched cards at all. They don't understand that standard envelope shipping even exists, or they're not using it for some reason. So they'll post up this $10 card with $5.15 shipping. And they're lighting their money and their customers' money on fire doing that because the customer is not actually going to add that shipping cost on. That shipping cost is just coming out of the value of that card. Money is just being lit on fire. And a lot of sellers light money on fire via spending too much on shipping, whether it's buying shipping at the retail counter at the post office, which a lot of sellers still do. A lot of them do. They don't print their own labels. They certainly don't check pirate ship or use cubic shipping or do anything they can do to get that price down. Nope, they plunk that down on the counter and probably stick it into a priority flat rate box at the counter and just light $8 per sale on fire. And they do it for everything. And I don't know how to help those people. So if you're watching and you're doing that, maybe you don't want to do that anymore. In general, when the market changes, you need to change. I tried to help one seller. He sold postcards, and he's not understanding why nobody's buying his postcards anymore. And I told him it's because you have package shipping on all your postcards. And I researched the category for him. 90% of the sales in that category were going to sellers using standard envelope shipping. But he won't change. He assures me that standard envelope shipping will wreck his account and destroy his eBay business. Even though my eBay business sends 20, 30 of them a day and is 5 times the size of his by volume now. Nope, wouldn't believe me. Wouldn't believe everyone else using it. Nope, it's going to ruin his business because it had problems the first month it was out. All right. Let's look at just one sale here right now before we get to the giveaway. The rest of the sales will be later. I filmed those last night. I sold an Ultra Pro playmat, anime-looking elf girl. At least she is more realistic in proportion. Doesn't look quite as adult as some of them do. Beautiful mat. I have hundreds of them. Not hundreds of that style, but I have hundreds of them. You should buy all of them. They make giant mouse pads as well, so even if you don't play cards. But now, let's do the giveaway. I'm going to give away this binder full of Magic cards. This is a binder full of cards from the set Magic Origins from about 6 years ago. This is a commons and uncommons binder. It has pretty much multiple copies, 1 to 4, sometimes 5, 6, of pretty much every common and uncommon card in that set. If you've never played the game before, it's a great starting point because all the cards are from the same sets and you have multiple, so you and your friends can make decks, play against each other, have a great time. The rare cards from the set are not in this binder. You could fill it out if you wanted to by buying those, but that's going to be my giveaway. If you want to win this, post a comment with the word magic. You got to like and subscribe to do it, and post the word magic in your comment. I may or may not ship the physical binder, but I will ship the cards and the pages. It depends on whether or not that's going to jack the shipping up for me, because this binder isn't worth any actual money, and you probably won't care if you get it. You can get old binders anywhere. All right, I think we'll take a look at some sales now. Whoa, another one of those sudden costume changes. Budget's just getting too big on this channel. I believe we have money for costume changes. Okay, let's look at a few more sales. Sold 2 sledding snowmen personalized ornaments, names of Blake and Isaac, sold for $13.18 plus shipping. I have so many different personalized ornaments. If you looking to support the store or just want a cool gift, I've got them. 1946 World Series, Cards versus Red Sox, VHS, $6.55 plus shipping. All this is plus shipping. I don't do free shipping. Other people can do free shipping. Philips remote control, $2.42. This was a personal item we lost, or the DVD player broke years ago, but still had the remote laying around. And I'm going to put the $2.42 in as cost of goods of this, because this is a personal item that we lost money on. Lots of cards, but I only list the cards if they're viewer sales or very interesting. A Build-A-Bear Workshop Make and Play Aloha Monkey 7-inch, sold for $7.28. Now this weighs just enough that it would be forced priority if I double boxed it, so I put in the listing that I was going to put the box flat and put it in a padded envelope, and thus keep from doubling the shipping cost on that. 90s bling here. Seiko men's kinetic watch gold, sold for $69.99, needing a new capacitor. This is one of those watches that it doesn't have a battery. It winds itself via motion. It's got, if you can, it's hard to see it, but the back is open. You can see all the gears inside, sort of. And these were quite expensive in the 80s or 90s, whenever this is from. They did have a capacitor inside that the motion would charge up, and it would use that. This one needs a replacement capacitor. It'll only keep running while you keep moving, but all that's in the listing, so let's see whether or not the person who bought it could read. They go for about twice that with the capacitor replaced. Oh, another piece of the background gone. Tom Griswold II, Charlene Kinzer, Forever Toys gnome. He is made out of leather. I had $10 in him. Sold for $161.99. He is going with his fairy friend who sold the other day, last week. He's going to the same person, so he's going to be back with his girlfriend again. He's going to be happy about that. Although the new Miss Piggy back there, who was his new girlfriend, not going to be so happy about that. I sold a box of various modern Flames of War wargaming sprues and parts for $17.51. That was already in a box, so I'll just pop it up on the screen. It's not interesting to look at. I pre-box some items that are going to be difficult to box, so that I really need to know what they weigh. Okay, one customer bought a total of 5 albums for $56.38. Jethro Tull, Aqualung. Remember, Jethro Tull is the band, not a person in the band. I mean, who's Jethro Tull? Fleetwood Mac, Tusk. He's saying Fleetwood Mac again. Shush. The Cars, Candy O. AC/DC, Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap. AC/DC seemingly just always names the album after the single that they're... And AC/DC, Back in Black. $56.38, going out to a repeat customer, not a viewer. $14.57, a tub full of K'NEX parts. This was either Goodwill bins or garage sale. I don't remember which. I've had it for quite a while. Oops, sold some more cards. Maybe I'll pop it up here to my friend who always asks for special handling, even though she knows she can't get it. Out of This World Super Nintendo game, $8.99. Oh, look, I got a smart customer. Most customers buy one thing. They'll buy one thing for $5 and pay $5 shipping on it. So few customers actually take advantage of combined shipping. But this customer is an exception to that rule. He bought himself deck boxes, 3 of the same one. They've got little anime girl on them, bad guy. One of a different one, little anime girl with a bunny. She's a good guy, I think. An ice troll miniature. A paladin miniature. A Force of Will playmat. Isn't that beautiful? I'm not really into this style of art, but that's very attractive looking. And the Force of Will playmats have this stitched edging, and they're just higher quality than the ones that are generally made for other games, even though the game itself isn't that popular. And another Force of Will playmat. This one actually came with packaging. And one more sale that we're going to look at in this segment, although I think this video is going to have multiple sales segments to it. It is a viewer sale. This one's going out. They bought a 1-foot flipper signed magic card, double signed front and back. This goes to viewer Cameron, Creeper's Closet. I'll put his store up there and I'll link to his store down below. Now, I try to do that for viewer sales whenever I can, but if I get 10 of them, I can't put 10 of them in the same video, so I'm gonna have to limit that. But check it out. Cameron looks like he's got a great store. Seems to specialize in cards, Leathermans, pocket knives. Check it out. Okay, I'm adding this into this video because people keep asking me how I pack records on eBay, and that's really simple. I use the cheapest record mailers on Amazon. I'll put a link to them down in the description. Something else might be better at a different time, but I use the record mailers because you cannot Frankenbox yourself out of random cardboard to pack a record in the amount of time that you just pay the 70 cents for this record box. If your time has any value, then it doesn't make any sense trying to pack up out of random cardboard. You're trying to make money. You're not trying to spend 15 minutes to save 70 cents. What would that end up? Be $2.80 an hour? So I just fold the record box over it, tape it up, and I slap the label on it, and it's done. In those boxes, your normal LPs all weigh in just a fraction of an ounce under 1 pound, so you only have to go to 2 pound on the double LPs. And that's it. Okay, you all reminded me we have one last thing for today. I've had requests to create a community of some sort for fans of the page, or whatever you want to call it. I created a Facebook group called 1-Foot Flippers. I'll put a link down below to it in the description. If you want to join that group, go right ahead. I think that's all we've got for today. Remember, if you want to win the magic card binder, post the word magic in the comments. U.S. shipping addresses only. I'm not paying to send this to Spain, even though I love my Spanish fans. Thank you so much, and good night.